We're now on verdict watch in the criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Jurors are now deliberating, and there's been some wild cards in the courtroom today.
And the judge sending a reply note to the jury after he received a note about jury instructions. Janice, following this one from our newsroom. Janice.
Calvin, Nicole, all eyes are on this trial, and it seems there's already some sort of shakeup amongst the jurors. About an hour into deliberations, the jury sent a note saying they're concerned one of the jurors cannot follow the judge's instructions. The judge sent a note back reminding the jurors of their obligations. So the judge sent that note reminding jurors that they have to follow through with what they sort of said they were going to. The judge went on to say that they have to continue deliberating. The issue from jurors was specifically about juror number 25 and concerns that they could not follow instructions. In fact, the foreperson asked to speak to the judge or for that juror to be interviewed. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. We know juror number 25 is a 51-year-old male who works as a scientist and lives in Manhattan with his domestic partner. Combs is charged with 5 counts, 1 count of racketeering conspiracy and 2 counts each of sex trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs continues to deny any wrongdoing. If convicted on the most serious charges, he could face up to life in prison. So be sure to stick with Local 10 News, because coming up at 4:30, our legal analyst Mark Eiglarsh is going to join us in the studio with a closer look at the trial and what that note really tells us about those jury deliberations going on right now.
Yeah, man. Welcome back to the channel, boy. I'm 618C's, boy. You already know what time it is. That boy Diddy might walk.
Huh?
Diddy might walk free, man. For real. Y'all think about it. He might walk free.
Are you insane?
You smoke crack, don't you?
Or will he plead out for lesser charges? I don't know, bro. I did write down some reasons why I think Diddy might walk free. You know what I'm saying? And I put him on a bulleted list. I ain't gonna show y'all, but I'm gonna tell y'all what's on my mind. But first, I want to look at a couple more clips about this juror, bro. Let's find out what's up with this juror who won't follow the judge's directions. You know, it's a lot going on. 4th of July coming up and all kind of stuff. Folks want to go home, man. They've been dealing with this for months. It could be some of that, or somebody in there don't feel like, hey, when it always come down to drama and the deliberation, bro, somebody in that thing feel like either he don't deserve them charges, he deserve lesser charges, or somebody in there saying not guilty, bro. Let's check out this next clip.
Two notes coming from the jury on Monday afternoon, the latest, asking the judge for clarification on the law when it pertains to some of the drug distribution evidence that was presented in court. The other, a little bit more concerning to all parties involved, specifically about a juror who wasn't following the letter of the law. Drama in the jury room on day 1 of deliberations in the Sean Combs trial. Barely an hour into the panel of 8 men and 4 women meeting behind closed doors, the foreperson sending a letter to the judge at 12:30, writing in part that one of the jurors cannot follow your instructions.
It's really unusual for after 1 hour to get a note like that.
The juror in question is a white male from Manhattan, 51 years old, and told the court during jury selection he was a scientist. Retired Judge Barry Kamens believes the defense would object to having the juror dismissed after all this time.
If this is someone who's sticking to their guns and not agreeing with a lot of what the other jurors are saying, that's the kind of person that the defense wants.
After conferring with the parties, including Diddy, the judge sent a letter back reminding jurors to deliberate and follow the letter of the law he gave them Monday morning. The 12-member jury has been tasked with sifting through a mountain of evidence and testimony presented during the 7-week trial in Manhattan. Combs has been charged in a 5-count indictment, including sex trafficking, prostitution, and racketeering conspiracy.
If they get any acquittal, it would be on that RICO. I think they'll get the sex trafficking as it relates to Cassie. And I think they'll get the transportation to engage in prostitution for both of them.
On Diddy's current mindset, a source on his team speaking with him over the weekend telling me he realizes many people in jail don't have family or support and that his family means the world to him. Sean hopes to make this up to them, and he's remaining committed to his faith and staying positive. And there was one private moment in court that we saw between Combs and his family. They all joined hands, bowed their heads, and began to pray before breaking out into applause. Combs has said that he is not guilty to all of the charges. The jury will be back here on Tuesday morning to resume deliberations. In Lower Manhattan, I'm Anthony DiLorenzo, Pix 11 News.
So there it is, man. Look, I feel like on one hand, he could possibly beat this. You know what I'm saying? Because from what I've seen, I just don't feel like that they proved sex trafficking charges. That's just where I'm at with it, man. I don't feel like that they did a good job. Now, am I saying was Diddy into some sex trafficking? I ain't saying he wasn't. I'm saying I don't think they proved it. The distributing, prostitution, I feel like they proved it. They might have been able to prove, I mean, distribution is easy. You know, he ain't got to be selling it to distribute it. All he could do is be giving it away. You know what I'm saying? And giving it to people for free. And you could still catch a distribution charge. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't see the sex trafficking. Is he freaky? Yeah, that boy mad freaky. Take that. You know what I'm saying? No Diddy, you know, but he mad freaky. But everybody knew this. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like I say, the distribution charges he can get part for, and the prostitution for sure, because he flying people. I mean, because he buying prostitutes. You know what I'm saying? So, but it could be one juror in there saying like, man, look, I'm ready to go home, G. So this is what I'm getting from everything. I feel like this is what they saying. The juror ain't following the judge's instructions, because the judge's instructions is to be like, you know what I'm saying? Is he guilty on this, but not on this? Is he not guilty on this and not on this? And I need y'all to say that. And then you probably got this juror. He like, man, I'm ready to go home, G. He either guilty or not guilty. We ain't got time for all that other stuff. And I'm ready to go home. It's 4th of July. I ain't trying to spend the holiday away from my man. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Because they made sure they said all that when they described them and stuff. Like, I don't even see why that was relevant or important. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he lived with his male partner and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even understand why that was even important or whatever. But they said all that. I don't understand why. But he ready to go home, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the defense didn't even call no witnesses, because witnesses probably was gonna damage the defense. Calling witnesses was gonna send that boy up a deeper river. However, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got the jury issues, you know what I'm saying? You got the prosecution challenges, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, people be high profile people, they get acquitted, bro, because they got the good lawyers, they got the money, and then they had that public perception. Because anybody sat on this trial and say they ain't never heard of P. Diddy before this, any juror, they lying, bro. Any juror that ain't know what P. Diddy was up to, you know, like, this America, a lot of people done either heard stories or seen something in the news or not, but then there's some people that haven't, you know, but I'm sure they know who P. Diddy is, bro. But then I'm feeling like this, right? Even if he beat the sex trafficking charges, but they clap him on the distribution charges, and they clap him on the prostitution, and they still hit him with like a 10 to 15, bro. And this is where I feel like he might not have the right people on his side. He might not have that NBA YoungBoy type look, bro. Let me go. He just might not. He might get that Bill Cosby look, bro. He might not get that NBA YoungBoy look, dog, straight up. Cause it's like, dang, bro, they might bam, even though he beat this, they'll bam you over here. That happens all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, even with regular folk like us, they'll be like, man, look, I'll let you beat this, but you finna take this, cause we ain't letting you walk clean free. But I don't know, man. What y'all think, man? Do y'all think Diddy gonna walk scot free? Or you think he gonna beat some of the charges, plead to lesser charges and be charged with lesser charges because he can't plead? I'm sorry. Or do you think he going down for the count? What y'all think, bro? It's getting sticky, but I really believe a verdict will come before the 4th of July. I really believe we will have a verdict before Friday. Me personally, I'm saying, what's this today? Wednesday. I'm saying it's coming Wednesday. If it don't come tomorrow, it's definitely coming Wednesday. But I feel like we will not go into the holiday weekend without knowing if Diddy gonna be found guilty or innocent. I'm 618Cs, man. I need you to do me a favor, man. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe, man. I'm trying to build a community over here where we can eventually hop on here and talk about this live every night, man. You know what I'm saying? Where y'all call in, you jump in on the Discord and all of that. That's what I'm trying to build. So if you stayed this long, I really need you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, man. Please. I'm 618Cs, man. If ain't nobody told you they love you, you already know your big homie from the 618 dude, man. I love y'all. Peace. I'm out.